What do you say? What do you know? It's the full Monte Sports Show. It is Sunday, October 4th, 2020. I am your host, Monte Perez, a.k.a. The Sports Whisperer. You can follow me on social media, on Twitter, MonteJP231, Instagram, Monte Perez2, and on Facebook, Monte Perez. I want to thank everyone for tuning in last week. We had 35 states tune in across the country. Our goal is to do the show 5 days a week, and I can only do that with your help. So if you like sports and comedy, definitely show this video to your friends and family, and we will reach our goal in no time. We have the best guests all across the country. This week is no exception. In about 25 minutes, we have Daniel Goodwin III joining us to talk about the shocking 3-0 Chicago Bears. And then A. Marie, who's been on the show with Daniel, will join us as well. She's going to talk about the surprising 0-3 Vikings. No one saw that coming. They are struggling, but there is plenty of time left in this season. It is a marathon, not a sprint. So don't panic if your team is struggling. At about 45 minutes, George Lopez. Look, guys, if you are an LA fan, this is the best time of the year. You got the Lakers up 2-0 against the Miami Heat. You have the Dodgers, who just swept the Milwaukee Brewers 2-0, and now they face the San Diego Padres, and of course the LA Rams. So he'll talk about that. And then Rico, Show Me the Money Graziano, joins us. Listen, if you're a casual fan, if you are a diehard football fan, fantasy football betting, Rico, Show Me the Money Graziano, has us covered from top to bottom. But first, let's start our journey with this. So my friend Suds, whose real name is Mike, is celebrating his 5th wedding anniversary today. Him and his lovely wife. Happy 5th anniversary. I introduced them to each other about 7 years ago. It was actually funny. Michelle used to work out at our gym. One night she invites us to a party, and Mike goes to the bathroom, and I said, look, he's been in love with you since he saw you. It was love at first sight. Do you have any interest in him? Now, she told me she's been in 2 very bad relationships, but she has no problem going out with him as a friend. Mike comes into the room and she says, what are you doing Friday? And he says, nothing. She says, do you want to take me out to dinner? So she walks away after he's happy, and he literally tackles me in jubilation. He was so happy. He's like, what did you tell her? Because Mike didn't have the nerve to get up and talk to her. So they go out for about 6 months, no kissing, just as friends. Finally, one night, she takes him to a Christmas party. They were just friends. Nothing romantic happened, and they hook up. About a year later, they get engaged. Now, my friend Mike is not the most romantic guy in the world, and he's kind of cheap. One of the things that Michelle loves to do is read the Sunday Bergen Record, Bergen County, New Jersey. Every Sunday, she reads it from beginning to end. So what does Mike do? He takes an ad out in the Bergen Record with their picture and says, Mike, love, Michelle, marry, ? Now, I think he paid, by the word for the ad, because it's not often that a guy could be thrifty and romantic at once, but he did it. So they get engaged. Now, I have to preface this story by saying that Michelle was married 2 times before. She was married for 27 days, and they got divorced. And then she was married for 3 months. I have milk with the expiration date longer than the marriage lasted her 2 marriages. Okay, she had 2 marriages. The total lasted was not even 4 months. And she jokes about it all the time. She said she finally met the right guy. So we go to the anniversary party, and her dad is a multimillionaire. He works on Wall Street. And he says, look, we could have it outdoor in our backyard where they live in a beautiful home, about 50 people, and I will buy you a condo in Hoboken as your wedding present, and you and your mother and I will spend any amount of money for your honeymoon. They have a beautiful, beautiful backyard, as you see right here. Or he says, we can have another big wedding, but you've already done this 3 times. And we'd rather do the first one. So Michelle says she wants a big wedding. She wants the big wedding for a third time. She doesn't want this beautiful backyard wedding reception. She doesn't want a brownstone in Hoboken, New Jersey. She wants the big wedding for a third time. So I'm in the wedding party. Okay. So I go on Friday to check into the hotel. And I just have to preface it. This has nothing to do with the story, but I just want to tell you the type of person I am. Every time I check into a hotel, I always get twin beds. And the reason is a few years ago, I was visiting my friend in Ohio for 4 days, and the king size bed was broken. The leg was broken. I couldn't sleep on it. So I called down the hotel room and I said, look, you need to switch my room because this bed is broken. I can't sleep here. The woman says, I'm sorry, we're booked. We can maybe transfer you to another hotel. I said, that's too much drama. Do you have a cot? She says, what? I said, do you have a cot? She says, yes. She brings me up a cot, and I spent $199 to sleep like I'm in the Army barracks because I really have no self-worth. You could treat me however you want, and I'm just like, okay, just give me the bare minimum. Again, I spent $199 4 days in a row sleeping on an Army cot. So when we get to this hotel, it's beautiful. There's an itinerary on my bed, and here's where the story gets good. From 2 to 3 o'clock, we are playing basketball, 3-on-3 basketball tournament. Now it's going to be me, Mike, and his cousin Sean, exactly like the guy Sean from the movie The Departed. Now we're going to be facing Michelle's brother and her 2 cousins. We get to the gym, and there's 25 people there, all on Michelle's side. They have T-shirts that say 9-0. Apparently, this is a family tradition that the day before a wedding, they play who's ever in the other wedding party. And I'm not lying to you. They had cheerleaders there. I am not lying to you. Now, I've met Michelle's brothers. I've met Michelle's cousin. Let me just say this. They're not my type of guys. Wall Street guys, misogynists, just not my type of guys. So as we're walking in, I see the T-shirts they have that say 9-0, 9 weddings. And I look at Mike, and I look at Sean, and I say, if we lose this game, you're not making it to the wedding alive. We are not losing to these guys. So we start playing, and here was the problem. The rim was only 9 feet long, 9 feet high. Most rims are 10 feet. This was 9 feet because we were playing in a middle school, and that's where the kids play on, and that's where the kids practice on. They don't practice on the 10-foot rim. So we're losing 5-0 to start off the bat, 5-0. And they start talking trash. Now, they're filming this. They have the cheerleaders there. They have the T-shirts. And it's not even good trash talking. It's not even good. The one brother hit a shot, and he says, you ready for the hurricane, Monte? What does that even mean? Are you ready for the hurricane? The one cousin says, call the fire department because I'm on fire. I really expected them to say, where did you get those clothes? At the toilet store? They weren't even trash talking effectively. So we're down 13-8. I call timeout. Now, as I call timeout, the 5th and 6th graders are starting to come in because they have the court from 3 to 6. So they're getting dressed, they're getting changed, they're watching the game. I take Sean and Mike, and I walk them down to the end of the court, and I say, Sean, if you take one more contested jump shot, when we get back to the hotel, I'm hanging you with wax dental floss. Can you stop shooting contested shots? He says, calm down. I said, I'm not going to calm down. Okay? I'm not going to calm down. You're shooting like the guy from the movie Along Came Polly. Everything's a brick. Stop it. Stop it. Give me the damn ball. So Mike starts laughing. And I say, what are you laughing at, Mike? You're 6'4", 280 pounds. You don't have a defensive rebound. Can you lay a screen? Can you lay someone out with that 280-pound body? He says, I'm 275. Oh, that's the part you're objecting to. Not that you're letting a bunch of guys talk trash, embarrass you. Yeah, you're 6'4", 275. You don't have a rebound. So they start giving me the ball, and I start getting on fire. We're down 13-8, and now it's 13-13. Now, they were talking trash. The cheerleaders are there, their parents, their families talking trash. So now I start talking trash. Now, the first thing I say, because they had the 9-0 t-shirts, when it's 13-10, I yell out, 10-0? Hell no. 10-0, hell no. Now, the kids on the sideline are getting into this. So I'm yelling, 10-0. I point to the kids. The 5th and 6th graders yell, hell no. 13-13. Okay. We go up 14-13. I make a layup. And I just start talking trash, and I don't even know what I'm saying. I start screaming, shut it down. Shut it down. What does that even mean? What am I saying? Shut it down. I'm talking trash to no one. Shut it down. But the kids on the sideline are starting to chant, shut it down. Shut it down. So we're up 14-13. They've won 9 straight wedding day games. We have the ball. Sean inbounds it to Mike. Mike passes back to Sean at the top of the key. Mike comes down and lays a screen and knocks Michelle's brother to the ground. I'm wide open, and I yell, Sean, give me the ball. Give me the ball. He looks at me and screams, no. And he shoots a fadeaway contested 3. Now, I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie Angels in the Outfield, but I'm telling you, I crash the boards because I know Sean's going to miss, and it lands right in my hands. Right in my hands. And I grab the ball. I've never jumped higher in my life. Again, these are 9 feet rims. They're not 10 feet rims. And I dunk the ball. Game over. I don't know if it was divine intervention. I don't know what happened. And I was so excited. I wanted to yell something as I'm hanging on the rim because it's the only time I ever dunked in my life. So I wanted to say something profound. I wanted to say something really cool. I wanted to say something that just captured the moment. But I swear to you, I just yelled out, Mommy! Mommy! Twice, not once. What does that even mean? I can't even talk trash. Mommy! Now, the kids, the 5th and 6th graders, start running onto the court like we just won the national championship. I just grab the basketball and I start walking down the other end like I'm the leader of a band, and I'm screaming 10-0. The kids scream, hell no. I'm screaming 10-0, hell no. It was like a scene from the movie Rocky 2. People are all around me, these kids, they're cheering, we're laughing. We just did something that was so phenomenal. And I swear to you, I look over and a coach had a tear in his eye. Now, I'd like to believe that the coach was crying because of the beautiful basketball moment that was happening, but I know that's not. He has his own issues going on. You know, his wife just left him. He's coaching his son who doesn't want to be there. You know, he had a bunch of issues going on. So the tear in his eye wasn't necessarily for me, but I'd like to believe that I had some part of it. So one of the kids grabbed me and he's like, look, 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 look. I turn around. I see Michelle's cousin on the floor. Blood all over the place. Apparently, when I jumped, I kneed him in the nose and he went down like a tree. Michelle's brother starts punching a hole in the wall because they lost. Mike goes over to hug his fiance. She's like, just leave. I'll call you later. We go back to the hotel suite. Now, Mike is in the penthouse suite, the most beautiful room overlooking the ocean I've ever seen in my life. He's like, do you guys want something to drink? We think he's going to bring out beer. He gets a call. Michelle says that her cousin has a broken nose. Her brother has a broken hand. Mike brings out Dom Perignon. Have you guys ever had Dom Perignon? It is the most classic, most satisfying nectar of the gods. Nectar of the gods. So we're about to toast, and we all said simultaneously after we found out the news about the injury, we all said at once, never in the history of the world have three people said the same thing all at once. We said, it's going to be a great wedding. Mike takes a sip, and he looks at me, and he says, what was the mommy chant for? I said, what are you talking about? He goes, you're hanging on the rim, and in the most feminine voice, you go, Mommy! I said, I don't know what you're talking about. That had to be one of the kids. Sean said, I heard you say mommy too. I was like, no, it wasn't me, man. It had to be one of the kids. Why would I scream mommy? Why would I scream mommy? So, happy anniversary to my friend Mike. We broke the streak of 9-0. It wasn't easy, but we did it. We injured people along the way, and it was one of the best weddings I've ever been to in my life. Now, let's get to the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're going to bring on Daniel Goodwin and A. Marie in about 10 minutes. You're listening to the full Monte Sports Show here on YouTube. Let's start the show with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, as a former coach, I love offense. Now, I wasn't Mike D'Antoni. I wasn't Norv Turner, who just focused on offense. I focused on defense and offense. We were very aggressive. We would blitz you. We would full court press you. We would put pressure on you both sides of the ball. But what we're seeing now has never been done before. In the first 3 weeks of the season, the NFL combined 51 points per game, 738.2 yards per game. We're seeing high scoring all over the place. Now, why is this happening? This is happening because, as we see, because of COVID-19, offenses were allowed to get together. We saw Tom Brady. We saw Kyler Murray. We saw Aaron Rodgers get his receivers, his running backs, and his tight ends together. And they played. They ran routes. So the timing is there. But what we haven't seen is defenses can't get together. Defenses weren't there. You know, when someone's learning a new route, you're not going to have a defender there. So that's why we're seeing the offenses way ahead of defenses. Normally at the start of the season, the defense is always ahead, but the offense has had more practices. So we're seeing record number of points, record numbers of yards. Now to the bad. No one is talking about this in the NFL. Now, look, we're going to see COVID-19 come up. Guys are going to miss. Games are going to get suspended. But we're seeing all these injuries around the NFL, and here's why. It's real simple. We just talked about all the offenses, right? Scoring multiple points, 30 points a game. The reason why we're getting so many injuries is because in the 70s with the Steelers, when they won the 4 Super Bowls, their teams huddled, right? In the 80s, the 49ers, their teams huddled with Joe Montana. In the 90s, Troy Aikman, they ran the ball with Emmitt Smith, they huddled. We're seeing the no-huddle offense now. So more scoring, more points. What we're seeing now is 25 to 30 more plays per game. Guys, this is what happens on every play. It is basically two people ramming each other. It's a car wreck every play. So, yes, the athletes are in better shape. The athletes they work all year round. They're bigger, stronger, faster. I mean, a lot of them are leaner because they don't want that excess mass. But 25 more plays per game, that means more head-on-head collisions, and that's why we're seeing more injuries. Now, finally, the good, the bad. Let's get to the ugly. Look, guys, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Okay? You see this graphic here? This plane has more touchdowns than the Jets. The last New York Jets Super Bowl party, TV was in black and white. And don't, excuse me, don't tell me that injuries are an excuse, okay? The Patriots have 8 guys who are injured. 8 guys who opted out from COVID-19. The Jets are ranked 31st in total offense, 16.3 points per game. The Jets are giving up 32 points per game. So again, each game, Each game, they're being 32-16. 32-16. It's absolutely disgusting. They should fire Adam Gase immediately. They will not do it. All right. We're going to go through this in about 5 minutes. Then we're going to get our guests on. Last week, I was 28. I am 28-11 on the season. We break down every game. Los Angeles Chargers at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Before I started the YouTube show, this used to be my logo. Who do I have there? Justin Herbert and Tom Brady. Okay, they're going to play this week. Tampa Bay's defense is so good. They have not allowed a 100-yard rusher in 9 games. They're going to give Justin Herbert problems. I'm going to take the Bucs here, 27-14. It's going to be a rough day for rookie quarterback Justin Herbert. Todd Bowles has Tampa Bay rolling. Okay, now Seattle Seahawks against the Miami Dolphins. Seahawks 3-0, Dolphins 1-2. Listen, a lot of people think this game's going to be a blowout, but one thing we know, when Ryan Fitzpatrick has time, he could be a very, very good quarterback. He's going to put up numbers against a very weak Seattle Seahawks defense, but I think Russell Wilson pulls it out at the end. Seahawks win 34-31. Baltimore Ravens 2-1 at the Washington football teams. Listen, one thing we know. When a team gets humiliated on national TV, that's a good team. They bounce back, and they bounce back in a big way. And I expect Lamar Jackson to really control the line of scrimmage here. I expect them to run. We know that Chase Young is out, the stud rookie defenseman for the Washington football team. So I'm going to take the Ravens here, 31-17. New Orleans Saints 1-2 at the 1-2 Detroit Lions. This is going to be a day for Alvin Kamara to do what he did last week. He's going to have about 150 all-purpose yards. I think the Lions hang tough here, but I don't see them winning this game. I look for Stafford to have a turnover late. Take the Saints here, 34-30. 1-2 Jacksonville Jaguars at the 0-2 Cincinnati Bengals. This is a game that no one outside of Jacksonville or Cincinnati even cares about. I know my brother's going to watch it because he's a big Joe Burrow fan. Listen to this. Joe Burrow is on pace to be sacked 75 times this year. The record was David Carr, who was sacked in 76 times in 2002. So Joe Burrow's going to get hit. He's going to get, he's going to get up. He's going to keep taking a pounded. But I'm taking the Bengals to get their first win here, 30-27. Arizona Cardinals at the Carolina Panthers. I was shocked that Detroit beat Arizona last week. I expect Kyler Murray to throw for well over 300 yards and 3 touchdown passes. Arizona wins this game big, 41-27. Eagles at San Francisco. Listen, I know San Francisco has injuries, but think about how easy their schedule has been. The 49ers are playing their 3rd straight game against teams that do not have a win. Eagles are struggling. Listen, Carson Wentz practiced with 1 wide receiver all week. They're all on the injured list. They're all struggling with injuries. Take San Francisco here, 34-23. Finally, the Packers. 3-0. They scored 35 points in 3 straight games, 35 or more points. Their offense is clicking. I know they have injuries to Lazard. They have injuries to Devontae Adams, but they should take this because Atlanta's defense is atrocious. Take the Packers to score 35 or more again, 41-30. 41-30. And there you have it. We break down every game in the NFL. I'm 28-11. So gonna want to keep this momentum going. We're gonna figure out what's going on with COVID-19 and some of these teams that are being postponed and not playing. But right now, we're going to bring on 2 of our favorite guests, Daniel Goodwin III. Hey, Marie.
Wow, Daniel, dressed up.
Daniel, hey, man, styling.
3-0 confidence. That's that 3-0 confidence.
3-0. They moved us to the 4:00 game, so we got to be about business.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up, and we'll start it off with this. Don't feel bad. I'm gonna get the Vikings background up there. But so we're going to start with you, Marie. The Minnesota Vikings started the season 0-3. We didn't see this coming. No,
not at all.
But there's some good news, right? There's some good news. I mean, Justin Jefferson, loved this kid out of college, had a huge game last week, 7 catches, 175 yards. Is he the legitimate number 2 option there?
He might become the number 1, and I love my boy Thielen, but Monte, let me tell you something. Mr. Kubiak, Mr. Old Man, look what happens when you run the ball and establish the run game. You can use your amazing receivers. What a concept. So
no, it's amazing because we saw the first game of the season against the Packers where Kirk Cousins only threw the ball 5 times in the first half. This team is built on the run. I think Dallas is throwing the ball for 400 yards per week, but they need to establish the run first. Don't put Dak in those situations. And I think the same thing for the Vikings. Why aren't they running my favorite running back in the league early and often?
If he has at least 30 carries, which he should, the thing is time of possession as well. But like if he has 30 carries, we win the game. It works. I mean, against the Colts, the first 3 plays were 3 play actions, and I wanted to kill myself. So, Kubiak, if you're watching the show, run the ball.
Yes. I don't understand. Dalvin Cook is super talented. He's got strength. He's got speed. They got to give it to him 25, 30 times per game. I agree with you. All right, Daniel, in your suit, classing up the place. The Bears are 3-0. Nick Foles came off the bench against the Falcons, and they scored 20 points in the fourth quarter. The Bears are the first team in history to be down by 14 or more points in 2 consecutive weeks in the fourth quarter in the first 3 games, and they won. What do you love about Nick Foles?
Well, Nick Foles is going to come. He's going to bring a lot of some different variety to the offense, and that means he's going to be able to throw the ball downfield, right? That's something that we haven't really been able to do. It's been check down, check down, check down. So him coming into the game, he'll be able to, see the defense while it's setting up, be able to make his call and figure out where he wants to go with the ball more proficiently than Mitch Trubisky was able to do. So I look forward to that. I look forward to seeing some variety. And then this so-called playbook that is so closed right now, hopefully it opens up. It opens up wide open.
Okay, so here's the deal. I'm shocked because last year their running backs and the running game averaged less than 4 yards per game. The Bears as a team, now a lot of that is Trubisky scrambling, but they're averaging 4.9 rushing yards per attempt. Can they sustain this running attack without Trubisky? And could they be a top 10 rushing team in the league when the season's up?
Well, I'm not going to lie. I mean, we all saw the game last week, and we saw the 45-yard run that Trubisky had at the end of the half, right? So we know he's going to be missed in that part of the game. But one thing that's optimistic for me, or that I'm optimistic about, is the offensive line. They've played much better than they have in the past. They protected better, and they also opened some holes as well. So we got some changes on the offensive line. If Fiddy has come in and he's done well. So we look forward to having patience, consistency with the running game, and I think David Montgomery can keep up the pace.
No, I've been pleasantly surprised how they're running the ball, and that's perfect for Nick Foles because he's very good at play action. Speaking of quarterbacks, listen, let's talk about Kirk Cousins. I think he's playing with no confidence. Okay, he's got 6 interceptions. What do they have to do to get him on track?
Okay, so I was going to add this to Dan. He's so lucky because even if you saw highlights, Nick Foles is out there rooting his guys on the sideline, and Nick Foles is a leader, man. I'm like, that's why I love that guy. That's why he's so great, and that's the thing between all my captains. There's no leadership, no heart. The defense came alive a little bit last week, but Kirk needs to be a leader. I know everyone wants this mobile quarterback, but Kirk is decent. He's a good quarterback when you get the confident Kirk. Like I wait. What am I getting this week? You know what I mean?
Listen, he had a great year last year. They went on the road.
He's a good quarterback.
Yeah, but why is he playing so bad? Is he trying to do too much?
Now, I don't want to. This is such like beating a dead horse. Our offensive line isn't the strongest, but we're good enough, and we don't give Kirk time. But that's why our running game should be good enough as well. There should be no reason he's playing this bad, though. And I just want a little more leadership. We need leadership. There's no leadership. Anywhere.
I did not have them going 0-3. I had them winning 10 games. I said the Bears could be better than people think. Daniel, Allen Robinson had 97 catches last year. 18 catches in 3 games. He's the number 1 option. Who's the number 2 option for the Bears on offense?
Well, I always like to say Allen Robinson is a stud. Number 2 option is Anthony Miller. He's got 2 game-winning touchdown catches right now. And when Foles came in, he was actually a nice part of the offense as well. So I think he's going to benefit from that. I think he's the second option, clearly. Jimmy Graham is there, but at Jimmy Graham's age and his lack of athleticism, Anthony Miller is the guy. He's a dog out there on the football field. I've seen him make some awesome plays, and he's done some really good things in college if you look at his top college tape. So if he can transition that into what they're trying to do on offense, I think clearly he'll be the second option in Chicago.
Okay, let's talk about the defense here. They're giving up 20.7 points per game, which is 9th. What do you like so far? Obviously, they lost Vic Fangio. Here's my concern. Khalil Mack had 48 tackles last year, disappointing season. He has 12 tackles, 1.5 sacks. Is he not the best defensive player on this team anymore? Is he like Dwayne Wade used to be? He could do it once every 3 or 4 games, and just have 3 sacks. I mean, why are his numbers gone down now for a year and the first 3 games of the season?
Go look at my Twitter feed. You can see all kinds of plays that I've highlighted where he's being held by 2 or 3 people at one time. There's one actually that I posted last week where he was held by 2 individuals on the Giants team, I believe it was. He came through. He still got through. And as he got through, he turned around, looked at him and said, man, what? Come on, seriously? He literally threw his arms up at the players, not even at the referees. So he's being held constantly on a constant basis, almost every play. Not only that, he's able to make pressures. So you may not see 2 or 3 sacks in a game, but he's going to have 6 pressures, 7 pressures. And sometimes I'd take 6 pressures over 2 sacks because once the quarterback starts seeing ghosts in the pocket, he gets happy feet. He gets nervous. He starts making errant throws.
And one of the things that's so, even if he's not making plays, they're going to double team him. So it's going to open up other defenders. All right, I'm going to switch to the Vikings background.
I've been waiting. Oh,
okay,
which
here we
fan?
go. This defense is giving up 440 yards of total offense, which is
very unlike us. Very unlike us since Zimmer took over. Very unlike us.
Now, they had a lot of changes in the offseason. 34 points per game, which is 31st in the NFL. How do we fix this?
Now, we have faced Rodgers, Rivers, Tannehill, and now this is the first time we're facing Deshaun Watson, actually, ever. So this should be an interesting day. But I believe in our defense. Danielle Hunter, that was a huge hit to our defense, but we have so much depth, and our secondary is so young. Our veterans are not that great. They're injured. They're not consistent. I think we drafted the best cornerbacks in the draft, but they're not ready. I mean, they had to face Aaron Rodgers week 1, but no pressure on there is no pressure. I think we got to Tannehill. That was the first quarterback we got to. Yannick is starting to wake up, but I know he would adjust to our defense, which that was a big pickup. But Danielle Hunter, that has been really hard, but we have no pressure. Where's that Zimmer genius? Where's that defense? I have no idea. I know our secondary is young, but I'm like, where are you?
It's amazing because we think of Zimmer's defense and we always think of them, even if they don't sack the quarterback, they're scheming, they're making the quarterback feel uncomfortable. I've seen the 3 games that I've watched, almost every quarterback looks super comfortable in the pocket. They're not afraid of anything.
I hope our red zone defense is the only thing I have in confidence right now. I'm like, yeah, get down the field and then we'll hold you to a field goal. Like that's the only confidence I have right now in our defense.
But part of that, I always say this: if your defense is struggling, you want to keep the opposing offenses on the field. Whether the Patriots play or not today, or whether they play, they're going to try to run the ball to keep the Kansas City offense, Patrick, off the field. This goes back to my original point. Why aren't you giving Dalvin Cook? And if you're not going to run the ball because your offensive line is struggling, why not set him up in the screen pass? This guy can get you 5 or 6 yards per carry. He can get you 10 yards easy on a screen pass. Why are they not, keeping their offense on the field?
All of our running backs, and we don't even and I think Kubiak forgot. Well, he remembered one couple, maybe 2 plays last week. We have these wonderful tight ends as well, but we have a deep running game. Madison, Boone, and our fullback CJ Ham. I'm like, you got a full squad. Run the ball all day long. Run the ball. You give Dalvin the ball 3 times, he's going to break through at some point.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling because I really like Zimmer as a coach, but he almost looks lost and he's like in panic mode now.
You can't keep an offensive coordinator too. And I don't know now if I was so excited about Kubiak with his resume, but I don't know if he's getting out coached now, but I don't know what the answer is. I think it's offensive coordinator big time. So I don't know.
All right, guys, we're having problems here with the chat room. So if some of you are not be able to post your chats, just keep trying, and I'll try to get to them. Look, Daniel, the Bears play the Colts today. The Colts are top 5 in sacks. They have a very good offensive line. I love the rookie Jonathan Taylor out of Wisconsin. Give us a few keys to this game.
Well, keys to the game. I'm going to start on the defensive side of the ball. Number one, Akeem Hicks has a sack in every game this season.
He's been a monster, right?
He's been a monster. And half of that is because of Khalil Mack, like we were talking about before. So I like the pressure that the Bears get. I like the pressure that they're going to get. Robert Quinn is doing a fine job as well. Khalil Mack will do his thing. So we'll see what happens there. If we can send a couple of blitzes and keep our linebackers clean, I'd be happy. So I'll start on that side of the ball. Also, defensively, we have to be more aggressive. I think this bend and but don't break attitude that Pagano has instilled, I don't like it. We essentially went into almost a prevent defense in the third quarter of one game. It made no sense and just let them march down the field 95 yards.
There's a big difference. There's a big difference, and I think it's going to help that Pagano used to coach the Colts, so he kind of knows some personnel, although it's mostly a different roster. But there's a big difference between Vic Fangio and Pagano, and you start to see when coordinators leave. This. With the Vikings, you start to see it a little bit in the first year. In the second year, there's a big difference. I don't like the fact that the Bears are not an in-your-face, I'll punch you in the mouth type of defense anymore.
Exactly. Aggressive. They have to be aggressive. They have to take chances. You have the players to do that, right? In my opinion, you have the players to do that. And I just want to throw one little thing out there. You made mention, Marie, about your cornerbacks. Don't sleep on Jalen Johnson. Rookie cornerback for Chicago. Don't sleep on him. He is a monster. He plays.
I'm jealous.
Now, what do you think?
I like my pickups. They're just young.
They're young. And listen, one thing, it's very hard. I saw it with Darrelle Revis when he was with the Jets. They said during training camp, his rookie, they're like, this guy is going to be a stud. It takes a while sometimes, especially, I said in the opening, the NFL in the first 3 weeks have put up record numbers in points and yards per game. And the reason why is all these quarterbacks met with their guys, their wide receivers, their running backs and tight ends, when they couldn't have extended OTAs, and they ran plays with them. So they know the routes. The defenses couldn't do that. You're not going to have a defense go against no guys. So the offense right now is ahead of schedule. Dan, going back to the game, are you expecting Nick Foles to come out and start slinging it, or do you expect them what to do with Trubinsky, run the ball, use the play action?
I expect them to run the ball, use the play action. I expect the playbook to be opened up some, so you'll see us going downfield more often, and you'll see a lot more guys involved. Darnell Mooney, Anthony Miller, Jimmy Graham, all those guys will be involved in the offense, except for just Allen Robinson. He'll be involved heavily as well. But you'll see it's spread out a little bit more. You'll see us push the ball down the field. And if we establish the running game, if we can, now I'm not joking, Indianapolis has a very good defense, but if we can establish the running game and we have those weapons on the outside, I think we do well. We score enough points easily to beat the Colts today.
Careful of Xavier Rhodes. He's a star now.
Yeah.
Listen, you bring up a great point. They got to be more aggressive because Phillip Rivers can't move back there. He's like Tom Brady. He has no mobility. So if there's ever a time to open up the defense and blitz and put pressure, we know that Phillip Rivers, when he's pressured, he's going to turn the ball over. Before we get your prediction and score, let's go to the Vikings travel to Houston. Both teams are 0-3.
Listen, for a win.
This is a game you have to win. I mean, if you don't win this game, season's over.
Yeah, this is our first regular season game. I don't know if you knew this, but preseason is now officially over. This is the first real game. Just to let you know, for all you Viking fans out there. No, this is definitely a desperate game. We need to win. This is going to be a turning point in our season. I know it's early, but it's going to set the tone for the rest of the season. I really believe that. And we need some confidence. We go to Seattle next week. Can't wait. But yeah, so I'm same with you, Dan. Establish the running game. They're gonna be covering Thielen. Jefferson's gonna have another big day, I hope. And defense, get aggressive. I think the whole NFC North, we are such a tough defensive conference. I don't know why all of us need to play way more aggressive than what we're playing. So
no, it's amazing because, like I said, I don't remember the Packers. Obviously I'm a Packer fan, but I don't remember them starting the season, especially when they play division rivals and they just go in there and they're scoring points. Like the NFC North is the black and blue division. I'm used to Aaron Rodgers. I remember a few years ago, I think they won 10-7 on a Sunday night game or 10-9 or whatever. Like it's always like just smash mouth football. But you look at some of these teams. Listen, I don't think Detroit is going to win 8 games this year. I think the Vikings need to get right this week. Give us a few keys besides running. Deshaun Watson's going to throw the ball 40 times today. I know that.
Of course. But that's what I'm saying is we need that pass rush. I don't know where it's been, but I believe I know we don't have Danielle Hunter, but I'm over that. We have enough players that can step up to the plate. Eric Wilson has been doing an exceptional job. Shout out to him. Harrison Smith and our safeties got involved last week, but we just need to pressure the damn quarterback. And we saw a little bit of last week and we got after Tannehill. I mean, besides the third quarter, we did a great job.
Houston's offensive line is ranked 27th.
Quarters.
Houston's offensive line is ranked 27th, Pro Football Focus, so you should be able to get to
so
Watson.
We're probably 28th.
Yeah. All right, so Daniel, give us a score for the Colts, Bears. And listen, if the Bears go 4-0, if they don't make the playoffs, it's a disappointing season, right?
You cannot.
No, it's not a disappointing season. But I will say,
wait. If they go 4-0, they got to make the playoffs.
Oh, they'll make the playoffs. But right. yeah, absolutely, they'll make the playoffs. Yeah.
Tough schedule this year.
Even at 3-0, we're in there. We're about the playoffs. That's why we're about business this year.
That's it. With the suit, love the suit.
Yeah, but as far as the score goes, I'm gonna go 31-17. I'm gonna go Chicago in this game.
Okay.
I think we clearly and we easily score enough points to beat these guys. I think Phillip Rivers will have a fumble, and he also throws the ball to the opposition at least 3 times in a game.
Yes.
It just matters if you catch it.
Yes.
So hopefully we can get our hands on 2 of them. We can catch 2 of them because they will come directly to us. So I'm looking forward to it.
So let's fast forward through the season without any injuries. Are you saying that Nick Foles is going to be the MVP on offense? And I mean, who's going to be the MVP on defense for the Bears?
On defense, Khalil Mack will be the MVP on defense.
Really?
Yeah, it's gonna open up sooner or later. It's gonna open up. We just got to be patient with it. He'll be fine. He gets pressures in there. I watch it. I see it every week. He gets his pressure in there. He'll be fine.
And give us a score for this game.
31-17.
31-17.
Chicago. Yep.
Okay, so you like them big. You mentioned that before. Okay, give us a score for the 0-3 Vikings against the 0-3 Houston Texans.
I think we're going to come out slinging today. I really am. I think we're both desperate. I'm going 27-20. I think we're going to pull it off. I really think we're going to pull it off today. I think we're going to come around. I think we're going to get confident, Kirk. This isn't the overly optimistic person. I just think we really showed some light last week, and I really think we can do this. I think we're going to do it. I really do.
Okay. So the Vikings win today. Are we still in panic mode? Because let's face it, no one thought they'd be 0-3.
I haven't been in panic mode because I don't know if you guys remember 2 years ago when we went 5-0 and then we went 8, we were done. So I mean,
okay, so you haven't panicked yet.
No, I don't. Everyone's yelling tank for Trevor, and I'm like, everyone, calm down. They're acting like, no offense, that we're like the Jets, but we're just we started off bad. We're a good team. No, we're a good team. I'm not saying we're gonna be Super Bowl champs, but everyone pump the brakes. Don't act like Zim hasn't built a great team. It's just stop.
This is my favorite thing I saw.
0-16. Okay. People are telling me we're gonna be 0-16. You can't have Dalvin Cook and all these people be 0-16.
And you know what?
Goddamn mind.
Their coaching staff is too good to go 0-16.
We're
They're
not going
make
0-16. Are these Viking fans? I don't know. Maybe I don't know. And no offense to the Jets, but like I feel bad. But no,
don't feel bad. Listen. This is the best thing ever. Look at that. I mean, that's embarrassing. I mean, come on, that's embarrassing.
And you play to win. You don't play to tank. I can't stand that. That and prevent defense, I can't stand.
No, listen. The Philadelphia 76ers did this. That they tanked for years. They got a decent team, but they never made it to the NBA Finals. Tanking doesn't mean anything. And here's the thing: if I'm Trevor Lawrence and I'm at Clemson, he's a god at Clemson, and the Jets have the number 1 pick in the draft, I'm going back to Clemson for my senior year. Why are you going to play? Why are you
like, I'm good. Well, look at Joe Burrow, poor guy. And you're telling me a Vikings offensive line or Jets, poor Burrow. He's great, and he's getting demolished.
Listen, Joe Burrow is on pace to get sacked 75 times. The record is Trevor was going to kill them in New York.
It ruined David Carr. Is going to do the same thing to Joe Burrow. Unfortunately,
I feel so bad. So everyone stop saying tank for these amazing college quarterbacks.
And the big question now is in New York, fans are saying that if they get the number 1 pick, trade it and stockpile picks. Don't get because you have Sam Darnold. And my question is, when have the Jets ever stockpiled and picked quality players? Anytime they draft someone like Jamal Adams, safety, and he gets good, they trade him to Seattle or they trade him somewhere else. It's like the Knicks with Porzingis. The Knicks had Kristaps Porzingis, the unicorn. They traded him after 3 years. They never hold on to talent.
I legit feel bad for the Jets.
Listen, it's beyond incompetent. I can't even talk about it because I get so upset. Okay, so you think the Bears are going to make the playoffs? Okay, break this division down. As on the outside looking in, A-Marie, we'll start with you. Are the Packers as good as I think they are?
I think that they lit a fire up Aaron Rodgers' ass. Thank you, Jordan Love. And I think Aaron's going to prove something this year. And I am very scared of Aaron Rodgers right now. I'm not going to lie. And
Daniel, what do you think? Are they as good as I think they are?
I must admit that they're better than what I thought they were going to be, and they haven't manifested what I talked about. They were going to have issues with Aaron Rodgers. They haven't manifested themselves. So he's actually doing a great job right now.
I don't think they look like that 13-3 team last year.
No, here's the thing. When they lost 37-8 to the San Francisco 49ers, I'm like, they have no shot of going to the Super Bowl. And what I love about Matt LaFleur is he was the best in the first quarter at scoring last year because he scripted his first 15 plays. They were the worst at scoring with Aaron Rodgers in the fourth quarter. This year in the second half, they're dominating because he's made the adjustments. He's matured and grown, just like we're seeing Sean McVay. And we're going to get George Lopez on in a minute to talk about the Rams. We're talking with Daniel Goodwin III and A-Marie here on the Full Monty Sports Show live on YouTube. But he's adjusted. LaFleur has really – I love Matt Nagy. I think he's going to do a great job with Nick Foles. But LaFleur has really been a very good second-half coach. He was terrible last year.
Well, also, I would want Aaron Rodgers in the second half as my quarterback.
Yeah, no. Listen.
At any point in the game, I'd like Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback. I know that's a sin to say. Gosh, I'm sorry, but don't worry. He's going to become a Viking in like 2 years. He's going to become a Viking in 2 years. That's how we work.
Wow.
We can't admit that though. We can't admit that.
We
can't admit that. I don't want Aaron Rodgers. We're doing fine. We got 2 quarterbacks.
Well, you have 1.5 quarterbacks. Yeah. Matt Nagy won despite Trubinsky. That's what I was saying.
For real.
All right, guys. Daniel, how can we follow you? How can we support you? Love the suit. Is that a church suit, or did you wear that because you're 3-0, gonna be 4-0, and you brought class to my show?
Well, I mean, I tried to bring class to your show. You know, I tried to, but I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. Follow me on Twitter, Dan Goodwin III. You see it right there. I'm pointing with the wrong finger right there. So check it out. Check me out. I do some writing for the Bears Brawl, and I'm on that podcast as well from time to time. I enjoyed being here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, we love having you. The fans love you. And obviously, you and I have something in common. I did stand-up comedy for a while. You're doing stand-up comedy. Tell people how we could support you.
Cool. Yeah, same thing. I'm doing the opposite. Part-time bro down in the corner. And actually, Monty, I know this is like a very exciting part in a comedian's career. And I know Dan might make it to it, but I'm recording my first comedy album in Chicago at a Packers bar, actually, November 14th at my buddy's. It's going to be really good.
Okay, I'm very confused. You're a Viking fan.
Listen,
you're performing in Chicago at a Packers bar?
Yeah, listen to how crazy this is. My producer for Part-Time Bro and my comedy album, it's called Name 3 Players. It's a comedy album with all football-based material. Can't wait. But my favorite part is the venue we found. We found out it was a Packers bar. I was like, oh my God, this couldn't be any more perfect. I'm in Chicago at a Packers bar as a Vikings fan recording my comedy album. So November 14th, I'll post more. I post a lot of info on my Twitter, so just follow me.
Go check it out. It's going to be awesome.
We definitely will, and put it on my page so that people could see it, and we'll definitely. Thanks so much. Good luck to the games today, and we'll have you on down the road. Really appreciate the time.
Thank you, Monte.
Thanks so much. Great job, tremendous job by Dan Goodwin III. Tremendous job by A. Marie. When we come back, the other George Lopez will join us. I don't even know why we call him the other George Lopez, because he's getting famous for being George Lopez. He's more famous now than the George Lopez comedian because he's been on my show. You're listening to the full Monty Sports Show, Sports and Comedy. All right, we're going to bring on George Lopez. Hey, George, got the Dodgers up for you right there, as you can plainly see. I know we're having some issue with the comments. Keep trying to put the comments up, and we'll try to post them. How are you this Sunday? You got to be loving life right now as an LA fan.
Hey, how's it going, Monte? Yeah, as an LA fan, yeah, it's a good time right now. It's a great time. You know, Dodgers in the NLDS against the Padres, which. You know, Padres are one of the teams I get up for when the Dodgers play them. You're not the Giants definitely, but the Padres I've always, as a kid, I always got up for them. Maybe because they were closer, but I always got up for that game. And yeah, the Lakers, you know, a chance to go up 3-0 tonight. So and then the Rams coming back home today to play. So yeah, as a sports fan in LA, I'm loving it today.
No, it's great. Look, George, I had the Dodgers winning the World Series as soon as the season started up. It was announced they would play 60 games. The Dodgers have won 8, but haven't won a World Series since 1988. George, why is this team different? I had them winning because I thought Mookie Betts would be the difference. But if they don't get to the World Series and win it, are we looking at them like the Atlanta Braves of 2000, who won 11 NL East divisions but won World Series? How do you feel about this Dodger team? Why is it different than last year, in the last few years?
I think this is the deepest team the Dodgers have had in a long time, a very long time. They actually have a bullpen that I completely trust, other than Kenley Jansen. I mean, I think their bullpen is more diverse. It's more deep. Dave Roberts can go to different pitchers now. And, you know, I thought he did a great thing and to close out Milwaukee when they brought in Gratterall to close out the game instead of Jansen. Because Jansen just didn't have it. You could see he was hitting 88, 89 miles per hour. His velocity's down. His cutter basically was his ball spinning. There was no movement. You know, I like Jansen, but you're trying to win a World Series, so you can't make decisions based on, I don't want to hurt someone's feelings. You know, that goes out the window. You're trying to win a game. You're trying to win the World Series. You got to do what's best for the team. Roberts is finally doing that. He's not playing out of loyalty. Because doing that reminded me of was John McNamara in 1986 with Boston Red Sox. He always replaced Bill Buckner at first base in the late innings. Game 6 against the Mets, he let him stay out there because I want Buckner to experience winning the World Series. And what do we have? The ball goes between his legs, allows Ray Knight to score. Mets win Game 6 and go on to win the World Series in 7. So you can't coach that way, and I think Roberts is finally realizing that. But I've been saying it for a couple of years now. This team is reminding me of the Atlanta Braves of the 90s.
Listen, with that offense that the Padres have with Tatis, with Machado, that's a scary offense. But I do think the Dodgers come out of the East. I mean, come out of the National League. Who do you think comes out of the AL?
Well, initially, believe it or not, I actually had Minnesota. I thought Minnesota
I like
finally
Tampa
had the
Bay, to
pitching.
be honest with you.
Now, yeah, it was between Minnesota and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is not afraid of the Yankees. I actually think they're going to beat the Yankees in 4. I really do. But I thought Minnesota finally had the pitching to complement their offense. I didn't expect their offense to be MIA against Houston. I can't believe Houston's going to be playing here at Dodger Stadium the next round, but it is what it is.
If that happens, that's good.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, I actually have Tampa Bay coming out of the American League to represent them for the World Series. But I'll be honest, this series against the Padres, it scares me a little bit.
No,
like they're young, they're not afraid. They're playing like we got nothing to lose. They're playing loose, and Tatis he's a hell of a player. Machado's clicking right now. It's going to be a very tough series for the Dodgers.
You know, it's funny because we saw this in the bubble, the Miami Heat with their young players really just thrive when there's no crowd. You know, there's something to be said. You know, I don't know how many people have watched the Dodgers playoffs, but those fans who take a hit as being, you know, they arrive late, you know, 5th inning on when the game is close, Dodger Stadium's rocking. And that's not going to happen now.
It has been. There's this huge group of Dodger fans. I mean, they even travel. They have these huge flag leagues, Pantone 294. They're a big group of diehard Dodger fans, and they're very vocal. I mean, I've seen them when the Dodgers have played in Philadelphia, when they played in New York, they travel. So yeah, Dodgers Stadium, you know, for the LA, for the rapid guests, arrive late, leave early. They have a very rabid fan base.
No, they do. So you like the Dodgers going to the World Series, correct?
Oh yeah, you know, and that's not a hard pick. You know, I think they're the deepest team. You know, this is the best team that I've seen of the Dodgers in a number of years. You know, their lineup 1 through 9, having the DH this year, believe it or not, and I'm not a fan of it, but I think it's beneficial. I mean, even like when Kershaw
more
pitches,
talented teams, more offense, more players get up to bat.
Will Smith is one of the best offensive catchers right now. But when Kershaw pitches, he likes to throw to Austin Barnes. Now we have the DH. They can still put Will Smith in and get his bat in even when Kershaw pitches and he's not catching him.
All right, let's move to something that I am very passionate about. LeBron James and the Lakers are up 2 over the Miami Heat. LeBron James has been to 10 NBA Finals with 5 different coaches. It's safe to say I had them winning this. It's safe to say that the Lakers should win this series. I don't see Miami with their injuries and their young team overcoming a 2-0 deficit. Where do you put LeBron James all time in the NBA's list of greatest players?
Well, I definitely have him in the top 10. I wasn't a huge fan of him when he first came up. I just didn't think he had the killer instinct. And I started watching him when he went to Miami.
But George, let me interrupt you for a second there. Magic Johnson against the Celtics when they lost, they called him Choke Johnson. He didn't have the killer instinct. He had to learn how to be a clutch player. Magic Johnson struggled.
Magic was a clutch player. He just had and I know you're talking about 1984.
Right. He had a terrible series.
He had a terrible series, but he was a clutch player. He just had a bad series, bottom line. I mean, if you think of his rookie year, Game 6 against Philadelphia,
42 points, 15 rebounds,
15 rebounds, 7 assists. As a 20-year-old, he was clutch. It's just 84. It was just a bad series, and you saw him in 85. He came out motivated. Well, the whole team came out motivated. That's why 85 is always going to be my favorite world championship.
But George, 5 NBA Finals, 10 NBA Finals, 5 different coaches. I mean, come on. He carries his coaches. Vogel, I mean, he's never had an elite coach.
Oh, no, not great. He's up there. He's definitely up there. Like I said, he's in the top 10.
How do you not put him in the top 3?
You might. Well, see, the thing is, I don't put Michael Jordan number 1, and people aren't going to think I'm nuts. I've never put Michael Jordan number 1. I personally would put Kareem Abdul-Jabbar number 1. If you want to look numbers compared to Jordan,
that's fair.
I think he's underrated when it comes to that.
That's fair.
Jordan was a great player. I'm not going to deny that. I mean, I actually got to see him play in his prime, so he was a great player. But when everyone talks about the greatest of all time in the NBA, Kareem's name hardly gets mentioned. But
never.
Kareem, Jordan, You got to get Chamberlain or Russell up there, and then
Magic.
LeBron comes in.
Right.
I would have LeBron maybe 6 right now.
I have LeBron number 1 because I think he's the most complete player I've ever seen. But my next question will be, if the Lakers go on and win this series, what do they do for a parade? Do they have anything to celebrate this? Because let's face it, to win in the bubble, we're seeing the NFL right now, all these players tested positive for COVID-19. Not one player in the bubble tested positive. To win this, to be isolated like that and be that focused, how would they celebrate in Los Angeles?
Well, like you said, this is Hollywood. I'm sure they'll find a way to have some type of parade for the LA fans. I can't see them doing the traditional parade. That's just going to be way too many people in close proximity, and you're not going to get them wearing a mask. They can't do it that way during this pandemic. They're going to have to figure out a way. Maybe where they have it like they've been doing in the bubble, virtual. That's all they can do.
Do something.
Because you see the virtual crowds during the games. They're going to have to do something like that at Staples Center.
I think any baseball team that wins the championship, any basketball team we saw in hockey and we're seeing in the NFL, anyone who wins the championship this year because of the failed leadership in our country with COVID-19 deserves all the credit in the world. George, we're going to move to the LA Rams. Listen, I love what Sean McVay is doing. I kind of compare him now to a little bit of Matt LaFleur, because Sean McVay, after that Super Bowl loss to the Patriots, kind of got exposed last year. They had injuries. His play calling was in question. But you look at what Sean McVay has done. You look at what Matt LaFleur has done. They've become very good second-half players. Coaches, I love the misdirection. Almost every play you think they're running one way, they're passing the other. Talk about the maturization of Sean McVay here.
Well, I think last year we had Super Bowl hangover. Belichick really exposed him, and he never adjusted to his play calling. And as a Ram fan, it was tough to watch them lose 13-3 to the Patriots in that Super Bowl. But the biggest problem the Rams had last year was their offensive line. They were injured. The line did not mesh the way it did the Super Bowl year. This year, you're seeing a healthy offensive line. All the hoopla, all the hype about Sean McVay, Jared Goff, all the numbers he's going to put up, for the Rams to succeed, they need to run the ball. You run the ball, that opens up the play action. And Jared Goff, he's tremendous in the play action passing. But that doesn't work if you can't run the ball. You got a healthy offensive line, and we're seeing it. Now they're able to run the ball.
George, I love Henderson. Should he not be the featured back every week?
Oh, I agree. I think he should be. Akers he's out again today. He's got the cartilage separation in the ribs, so he's already been ruled out. Malcolm Brown, he's very good in a short yardage goal line and to spell Henderson. But yeah, I think definitely Henderson should be the featured back.
I love him, George. I love him as a running back. I think he's better than I thought.
He showed his toughness. If you know,
last week
they were dominating running in between the tackles against Buffalo. If they tried to bounce it out, they couldn't run. He showed some strength that I didn't know he had running between the tackles, and you can use him in the passing game out of the backfield.
George, we're talking with George Lopez here on the Full Monty Sports Show. We're going to bring on Rico, Show Me the Money Graziano, to finish talking about the Rams here. I know Rico's never really been a Ram fan, doesn't really like them, always picks them to lose for some reason. I don't know why. But we'll start with you, George. Rico, how are you today?
I'm doing good. I could have possibly been a Rams fan. You don't know. Did I ever tell you the story of why I'm a Steeler fan?
No, tell me.
Well, it was the first football game I ever seen was Pittsburgh against the Rams in the Super Bowl. So, I was a little
1979, Vince Ferragamo, Wendell Tyler, running back. I know that Super Bowl.
So I just but Nolan Cromwell dropping that easy pick six in his gut, and he dropped it.
I don't remember the game, but I remember that I took the winner, and I was like, that's going to be my team. So that pick six could have changed the whole trajectory of my life.
You could have been a Rams fan.
I could be dating some Rams girl right now. I could be like, the whole thing just changed because of that drop pick six.
All right, George, we'll start with you. Should the Rams be favored to win this division moving forward? San Francisco has a ton of injuries. Seattle's defense is horrible. I know they're winning with Russell Wilson, but that defense sucks, to be frank.
Yeah,
So are the
Seattle-
Rams favorite to win the division?
Yeah, Seattle's basically playing like the 7 seconds or less version of basketball in the NFL.
They're
right
the
now.
Houston Rockets of the NFL.
Yeah, it's Russell Wilson. Oh my God, he is having such an amazing season already. Yeah, the Rams definitely should be favored. You know, with San Francisco, it's part of the Super Bowl hangover. It's unfortunate with all the injuries that they're getting. I know Garoppolo, or I had a hard time pronouncing his name.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
He's going to be out today. I think Kittle's is coming back today, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, here's the thing. You know, I've heard for so long, okay, from my friend Jared and other people, I've heard for so long that Kyle Shanahan is a genius. I don't want to hear about
Except in the
injuries
fourth
anymore.
quarter.
Listen, the Patriots have 8 guys who opted out because of COVID-19, and they're one of the best teams in the AFC. So I don't want to hear these, like Kyle Shanahan, earn your money. Rico, do you think the Rams should be favored to win this division from this point on?
Favored, I don't know, but I think they're definitely in the mix of, you know, I wouldn't not bet against them. You know, the numbers, the odds are good to put the money down. I mean,
They really impressed me. They impressed me in their loss last week to the Buffalo Bills.
San Francisco knows how to deal with, you know, with injuries. There, I think to even consider them out of the conversation is crazy. Then again, this division, and then you're talking Seattle. Do you really want to? I mean, he's having, you know, Russell Wilson's having an MVP-ish season.
You know, in this division, the Rams have always matched up great with Seattle since they got McVay, and they pretty much dominate. San Francisco dominated the Rams last year, even though the Rams had a chance to win that last game. But they match up pretty well with the Rams. So,
well,
San Francisco
was a playoff last year.
How about this? The San Francisco 49ers. Now, you can't really count the first week because they played Arizona, who was 0-0, their record. But for the first time in history, a team has played 4 straight weeks and their opponent hasn't had a win. The 49ers have played 4 straight games against teams that haven't had a win. So I don't want to hear this like they're playing an easy schedule right now.
Well, they're playing who's in front of them. That's what you have to do. You beat the teams that you're supposed to beat, and then the teams that you're going to have matchup problems with, you find a way to win those games. Now, Shanahan, he's a great coach until you get to the fourth quarter of a Super Bowl with a lead, and then I don't know what happens to him. And we saw that last year. We saw that when he was a coordinator against Atlanta. But he gives the Rams some matchup problems. He does, but I think Arizona is the dark horse right now. That's the team you're going to have to watch out for. I'm really looking forward to seeing them play Seattle.
Yeah, that's going to be a great matchup. You know, our friend Andrea, I think she's the only one who's actually allowed to chat right now because our chat room is kind of down. She said ESPN said Kittle is active, so you are correct there. Okay, let's move to the next topic. We'll start with you, Rico. Is Jared Goff a top 10 quarterback?
A top 10 quarterback? I think he's a great game manager.
Yes.
I wouldn't go in as far as saying he's a top 10, but, you know, he's doing great. He's doing great. It's tough to call what's a top 10 in, you know, week 4, coming into week 4. But he's playing great, so I can't really argue. But there's a lot of players. There's a lot of great quarterbacks that I could rattle off, but I wouldn't say top 10. Not
George, have you seen his game evolve since last year when he struggled?
Oh, his problem last year, and I mentioned this earlier, was he had no running game. If Goff cannot handle pressure up the middle, if you had no running game, play action passing didn't work. He couldn't roll out. There was nothing. They weren't going to fall for it. So he had to do a lot of more drop back passing, and he doesn't handle the pressure up the middle. Now that the running game is working, he can do the misdirection. He can do the bootleg, the play action, and roll out, and he's a better quarterback when he's able to do that. So yeah, there has been some, and he came in more with a chip on his shoulder. So he did come in. He's more authoritative. He's trying to take over the offense a little bit more, and bringing in the quarterback coach or the offensive coordinator / quarterback coach this year. His game has taken a step up.
I see him playing with tremendous confidence. That could be he knows the offense. That could be he's getting more protection. And again, those misdirection plays are amazing. The Packers are running them. The Rams are running them. The 49ers run them. George, real quick, before we let you go, the Rams play the winless Giants. What do you expect out of this game? I expect Henderson to rush for like 125 yards, Cooper Kupp to have at least 7-8 catches, your boy Higbee to have a touchdown. This should be business as usual, 31-17. I mean, are you very confident in this game tonight?
Well, I'm going to say this: if the Rams don't win by 20 points, I'm going to be highly upset. This game, I actually have it 38-10. Without Barkley, I just don't see the Giants
Daniel
doing
Jones
anything.
has been terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, but you can't go in with this attitude, oh, well, they don't have certain players. The game's over, just showing up. You do that, that's when upsets happen. And McVay won't let them go in thinking the game's won just by showing up. I think because of how they lost last week,
Could have never lost that game after they came back. Heartbreaking.
Yeah, and they showed me a tremendous amount of heart, and they didn't quit last week, being down 28-3. And the PI, you know what? If anything, it was illegal contact. I don't know about pass interference, but it was still illegal contact. So I didn't have an issue with the penalty. It's disappointing the way they lost after that comeback, but I think they're focused. McVay, and he came out, he goes, we learned from it, and we grow and we move forward. He goes, I'm not going to blame us losing on one call because it was more than one play to cost us that game. Yeah, you went down 28-3. That's what cost you. But they're going to come in. I actually have it 38-10 today. If they don't, like I said, if they don't win by 20, I'm going to be extremely pissed off.
Okay, Rico, now I know this is not on your scheduled games, but the Rams are favored for 13. Is that too high, or is George right on the money here?
I think you got to remember. I feel like you got to remember that this is an NFL team, and 13's a lot. I don't think any team should have that type of juice. Even I feel the same way about the Baltimore Ravens game. 14 points over another professional team. You got to remember there's teams that are clearly better than other teams, but they're always very close. I don't think the Rams are going to win by 15, 13, or whatever the spread is. That's a lot. I think it's going to be a cakewalk game, but it's going to be one of those. They'll be
late
up by
touchdown
10.
by the Giants.
Like a late garbage touchdown. Like I feel bad for you touchdown. They'll be up by 17. Let them score that last touchdown with third stringers in.
I think George is right on the money here. I think the Rams roll, and I said this earlier. Anytime a good team gets humiliated, like the Ravens did Monday night to the Kansas City Chiefs, they come back, and they're very well coached. Harbaugh is not going to let them forget it. I think the Rams and the Ravens are the absolute sure bet blowout games this week. And I like Arizona too. Against
you're giving 30 points combined with those two games. That's a lot.
I am.
Well, like you mentioned with Baltimore against Washington, I believe Chase Young is out today.
Chase Young is out.
Yeah, so that's just going to give Lamar Jackson even more room to maneuver.
Listen, George, we appreciate you coming on. Love the Rams hat. If I'm an LA fan, Lakers go up 3-0. Rams are 3-1. Listen, what a difference a year makes, right? Listen, the Miami Heat didn't make the playoffs last year. The Los Angeles Lakers didn't make the playoffs year. They're both in the finals. The Rams this time last year were struggling. Now they're playing great. So what a difference a year makes for LA fans.
Yeah, I mean, Los Angeles actually has a chance to be called the City of Champions.
City of Champions. City of Champions.
I mean,
if the Lakers and Dodgers win.
He almost said again, but
well, 1988 was the last time, right?
It's been a long time. The last time the Lakers and Dodgers both won the championship. We have a real good look at it. The Rams have a legitimate shot at the Super Bowl. Again, health is going to be a concern. You have to stay healthy, and things have to fall into place for you, but I think they have a good shot at it.
George, last question before we let you go, and of course you can follow him at the other G Lopez. I asked this to A. Marie and Daniel Goodwin. Are the Packers as good as I think they are, George? Because they have been putting up numbers. Matt LaFleur has done a tremendous job. On the outside looking in, is this one of the teams you fear?
Oh, definitely. I joke about it. Now that Aaron Rodgers is in with Danica Patrick, you're going to see his game elevate. I always make jokes like that. But he came in with a chip on his shoulder this year. And you're seeing a different Aaron Rodgers. And I didn't think that was possible. As great as he's been, I think his game went up another level.
Yeah, and listen, that offense is
they didn't even have I think Devontae Adams didn't play last week. Jones He wasn't 100%.
Lazard is out this week, but they play Atlanta, who can't. Us three can put up 30 points against Atlanta.
That one, they should easily put up 35, 40 points against Atlanta's defense.
All right, George, listen, enjoy this day. It's a great time to be an LA fan. We'll get you back on to talk Dodgers. Obviously, I think the Lakers are going to win, and we'll have you on to talk about Rams. Love having you on, man. Thanks so much for the time.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
All right. Take care, George.
Thank you.
George Lopez does a tremendous job, obviously, talking about, the Rams, everything else when it comes to LA sports. All right, Rico, let's get right to this. Are they going to play the game, Kansas City versus the New England Patriots? Are they playing this week? I have Clyde Edwards-Helaire on fantasy football. You see how I tailor my show to you? I talk about things you love, fantasy football. Now, you may be saying, Monte, I don't really care about the Patriots-Chiefs. I'm not betting on that game, but you love fantasy football. I also have a couple wide receivers that may be impacted. Are they going to play this game this week, or do you sit anyone who's on New England, anyone who's on Kansas City in your fantasy football lineup?
Well, to be safe, I would sit everybody that's on either of those lineups just to be safe. Because if one more person tests hot, it comes up hot. Thanks, Amber.
I don't know why. I don't know why you have a fan base. Like, Rico looks good this morning. Does she mean that you don't normally look good, or?
Well, listen, I'm taking it where I can get it. I'm okay with it. Whether I looked horrible last time and I'm better this time, I'm totally stoked right now.
Yeah, I feel bad because we're having problems with the chat room. But okay, Rico, so you're not going to play anyone on New England or Kansas City, correct?
I'm hoping the game plays Tuesday because I just like to see Tuesday night football because I don't think there's ever been an NFL game on a Tuesday night. So that would be really awesome.
But you're not going to play any one of those starters.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm hoping for the best, but I'm not playing anybody on them. I'm luckily enough, I'm not in that position. Besides Helaire and the team I have him in, I'm already 0-2. That's like my one bad team I have. So it does to me at this point. I'm like, yeah.
This is true, Rico. You should run for president because you have a cult following.
Well, now we see the bar is really low to run for president. Anybody can run for president. I mean, yeah. Whenever somebody says they can't find a job, I'm like, just run for president. It seems like.
Or if you go bankrupt dozens of times. Okay, Rico, listen, got to be honest with you here. Called you out last week for your picks. You went 1-2. I never do that. I never called you out. You almost went 0-3. Now, and here's another thing I'm going to call you out because you've been killing me about this. Joe Mixon is not going to play today. He's averaging 3.5 yards a carry. I told you at the start of the year, Derrick Henry is a much better running back. You and Levi killed me on that. Would you admit that Joe Mixon is just a bust as a top 5 pick in fantasy football?
I think as a top 5 pick, it's still early to say that.
He's not even a top 10 running back in fantasy football.
It's not even. You can't even look at him. They're throwing the ball 60 times a game. I mean, Joe Burrow has become a fantasy starter purely because how many times he's thrown
numbers, volume, yeah.
I mean, the volume. Nobody's thrown the ball as much as he has this year.
But what's amazing, he only has 1 interception, and he's been hit. He's on pace to get sacked 75 times. The record was Derek Carr in 2002. He's on record to get hit. But Rico, he's getting hit. He has no offensive line. He has 1 interception.
I know. He's going to be that division is going to be a problem. Thank God Baker Mayfield isn't turning into anything special because that division with Roethlisberger on the back end of his career, Lamar Jackson starting out, Joe Burrow his rookie season looking fabulous. He
looks great. He looks great. I just feel bad because he's got no help.
That is definitely becoming one of the most competitive. That will be next year and years to come the most competitive division purely because of the quarterbacks in that division.
Okay, so you're 2-1 on the year. You're 2-1 against me in fantasy football, which we'll get to in a few minutes. But let's talk about this game right here. Look, Dallas Cowboys against the Cleveland Browns. I love Dak Prescott at home. He has a passer rating of over 100 at home. They're throwing the ball all over the place. Listen, 5 points. I don't know if Cleveland can hang tough, but if they run the ball, they will break this game down for us. Cleveland Browns are the Dallas Cowboys. By the way, I'm going to talk about this. Jerry Jones is allowing 25,000 fans in the stadium today.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, being sarcastic. The line moved from 5 to 3.5. So the money's been going on. The money's been going on. The Browns for this game because it moved down. The line moved down.
Rico, did you have coffee this morning? Your energy level's a little low.
No. I do. I was just my brain was a little. I went to the beach yesterday, so I was there all day yesterday, and it was like, you had to have this whole big thing that we did. Like, we were by ourselves, so to get to the water, I had to walk really far because we wanted to make sure we were away from everybody because there were some people at the beach. It was a whole big thing that we set up. Even though we have the antibodies, there was a lot of
you weren't happy going to the beach. Is that a fair assessment?
No, I was not happy going to carry my kid across hot sand to the water, and he didn't want to get out of the water, so it was a big deal. Every time he wanted to get out of the water, I woke up this morning, it was like 7 o'clock, and I was like, I got sunburned. Why? I was like, oh yeah, I was at the beach yesterday. But that's why so my brain had to work because the line moved, and I forgot what makes the line move.
Right. No, but because obviously people are putting money on the Browns. Now, I think if the Browns can run the ball, they can stay close here. The problem with the Browns is their back seven is terrible, and Dak Prescott is throwing for 400 yards per game every game. So Dallas is going to air it out.
Oh, Dallas will definitely air it out, and I think the Browns are going to run it out, and it's just going to be one of those games where it's just going to go. You're right. I think the scores will be like 38-35. Because the Browns defense just lets up whatchamacallit. The Browns defense gives up 30 points. So if the Browns don't score 30 points a game or more, they're going to lose, right?
Okay, so you think Dallas wins big here?
No, I think I like Cleveland with the 3.5. I think Cleveland may lose the game, but I think that they stay within
– they cover.
Striking distance. I think it'll be a great game to watch. So
because I got confused because I saw this.
Yeah, George Lopez loves him. George is all about double digits today.
Yeah, he is. He's all about the favorites.
That's it. He's all about the favorites. He's this one and blowouts. If they win, you got to remember it's football. If you just win, a win is a win, and that's good enough for me.
Listen, I say that to my friend Andrea about the Bears. It's always better to win ugly than lose pretty. Always, just win, win and move on.
That's
win and move on. All right, Rico, what's going on here? Cam Newton tested positive for the coronavirus. The Chiefs are favored by 7. That was what the line opened up as. And then as we look at the line today, I mean, look, how much more of a difference does Cam Newton make? Because they don't even have a lineup right now.
No, I saw nothing on the board of the betting line. It was taken off. It was taken off the board. But he's such a big part of their offense. Not that I think there'd be a big drop-off, but, to have it, Bill Belichick with a running quarterback has been great to watch.
Well, because he wants to run the ball, especially against Kansas City. You want to keep that prolific offense off the field.
Yeah, exactly. And he's never had, now he goes back to a true game manager. I can't even remember the quarterback, the backup's name.
Stidham. Jason Stidham, yes.
Yeah, Stidham. So he's a pure game manager. He's like a little bit more mobile of a Tom Brady, like a more mobile Tom Brady, but not like Cam Newton.
Listen, I still think the Chiefs will win this game by 7. I do think the Patriots are one of the elite teams in the AFC. I think I'm not going to say they're better than the Ravens. They're not better than the Chiefs, but the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes are playing at such another level right now. He's playing chess. Everyone else is playing checkers.
He literally is. I mean, I've watched other quarterbacks make bad passes, and I say to myself, Mahomes would have made that. He has been throwing. Not only can he run the ball like a Lamar Jackson, he's throwing dimes like an Aaron Rodgers. He's just like.
But here's the thing.
Did you see the look-away throws that where he's looking one way and throwing the other way, but he's throwing a perfect pass? I
said this.
It's almost not fair.
I said this after they won the Super Bowl. I said, and I've said this numerous times on the show, Mike Krzyzewski said when he won his first championship, everything that he believed, he was going to be 10 times more aggressive. He was never going to second-guess himself. You look at Andy Reid now, who won a Super Bowl. He's throwing to his fullback on 3rd and 1 inside the goal line. He's throwing to an offensive lineman. He's even more aggressive now because he doesn't have anything to worry about.
Well, you have nothing to worry. I mean, the team's cockiness and arrogance is so on such a high level that you can't even go against them because they go on the field, and if they and you know what, if it's third and 1 and they're within 60 yards, they're going for it.
You know, they don't care. They don't care.
Now. They're changing. They're going to change it now. From 50 on, they'll go for it on fourth down because they just have that. It's not that they have confidence in their defense. They have so much confidence in their offense that they don't care. They'll go for it on fourth down.
Listen, and remember,
Super Bowl with Tom Brady, it's really hard to stop a team that you know is going to go for it on fourth down.
And remember last year in the entire playoffs, they were down 10, 20 points. It didn't matter. And listen, the chat room is now up and running. We fixed the problem, so feel free to keep the chat coming. All right, Rico. So listen, Buffalo Bills 3-0. I'm kind of shocked by this because they're playing. I think that the Las Vegas Raiders are a fraud. I don't think they're an elite team at all. Why are the Bills only favored by 3 against the Raiders?
You know, I feel the same way. I keep looking at it, and I'm not seeing the matchup that they must be seeing. I guess they're just waiting for the, it's tough. Vegas sells certain things, and I think they're selling like, hey, the Bills are going to come, are going to land on their
overconfident.
feet. Well, not overconfident, that they're going to be the Bills that we know. Like, look, it's such a weird line because I don't even see the match. Sometimes there'll be like a good running team against a bad offensive defensive stop team, and you don't know why there's a line, but you find out that the one team's really good running, the other team can't stop a run, even though the other team's clearly a better team. So when I'm looking at this, I can't figure it out. I like the Bills in this game purely because they just proven that they're a more consistent, better team. And
yeah, so give us a score for this one, Rico.
I think it's going to be like a 27-24, 27-21 game. I think the Bills win.
So the Bills cover.
Yeah, the Bills cover.
Okay, Rico, our good friend Mike, who always sends us an email, he works on Sundays, so he tapes everything. He said, who should I start this weekend, Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen?
And
this is his big money league, Rico, so he's got a lot of pressure on him.
It's such a hard question because last week the Chiefs really exposed Lamar. Like, they really were kind of like, they put him in a position. They're like, we're going to stop you from running. Show us that you could beat us with your arm, which he couldn't do, which I thought was, a little surprising that he was so off with his throws. But I would go with Lamar. I feel like even though I like this point spread to stay close, I think Lamar needs to. Yeah,
I think Lamar comes back here. So I agree with you. Although Josh Allen has been throwing all over the place.
And yeah. So, Josh Allen might throw a pick or two, today if he keeps playing a little cavalier. But I would go Lamar. I think he knows that down deep too. You go Lamar after that. And, it shows what kind of player he is too.
Okay, one more question from Bill in San Antonio, Texas. Rico, who has more wins this year, the Jets or the Giants?
I don't know. I have no idea because I took the Jets the other day, just assuming that John Elway would want to lose on purpose to get the first pick in the draft, and I felt like I was watching two teams trying to lose on purpose.
Rico, did you see this? I posted this earlier in the show.
Yeah, definitely.
So who wins more games? Answer his question.
I say the Jets just because the Jets.
Rico, what?
I'm thinking one of them are going to have at least one win, and I'm putting it on the Jets just purely because it's a coin toss. The Giants look so bad that and they're not getting any better. There's nobody coming to save them. Saquon Barkley will not be back till next year. Their offensive line is a mess. Their defense looks horrible. Daniel Jones is about to literally get himself knocked out of a job.
No, he's been awful. Okay, so you're taking the Jets. I'm taking the Giants. I will never bet on the Jets again in the history of the world.
Never.
As long as I'm alive, the Jets could be 15-0. I'm going to have them to lose.
I've heard you say this for years. You have said this for years. I don't know what it is with you with these Jets. Just give it up. Stop. Let them go.
Listen, that's why. And I'll put this on the camera, and then we'll get to fantasy football. We're talking to Rico Graziano. That's why I have my Packers mug, Rico. Try to feel like a winner once in a while. I said the other day, when I wear Packers gear or Laker gear, I feel more attractive.
You are more attractive with that. When you wear Jets gear, everybody knows that you must have got it for free or you were at a homeless shelter.
When I get Jets gear, women want no part of me. All right, Rico, you beat me in fantasy football last week. Very close game. You're up 2 to 1 in week. So I start this week. I'm taking Dak Prescott. I think he throws for over 350 yards in Dallas over the Browns. So I'm going to put that. We can only pick a quarterback twice. So I have Prescott here. Who are you taking as your quarterback?
I'm taking Aaron Rodgers this week. If you notice, I'm saving my big guns for later in the season.
Well, you've already took Wilson, Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Aaron Rodgers. So I don't know how you're saving your big guns.
What do you mean? I already took Mahomes?
You took Mahomes in week 2.
Son of a gun. I guess I did take Mahomes.
All right. Who is your running back?
I am taking, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Kamara.
Listen, he's going to have about 150 yards out of New Orleans.
Alvin and the Camaras. There's a jokey show that I heard in New Orleans that it's called Alvin and the Camaras, and it's his face on just a bunch of different bodies.
Listen, he has been tremendous. He's without Michael Thomas. They're running him at wide receiver. They're running him at fullback, tight end. He's going to He's going to punt the ball. He's doing everything for that team. So yeah, I agree with that. Okay, Rico, I'm going to take Henderson for the Rams. I think he's going to run all over the Giants.
Wow, that's an interesting pick. I figured you were going to. You know what? I'm going to switch up my pick a little bit. I'm going to take Nick Chubb for Cleveland. I think that he's going to have a nice game today. I think they're just going to pound him into Dallas's front defensive line.
You know, it's funny, Rico, because
Cook, but
I'm taking Dalvin Cook. That's my next pick. I'm taking him. I thought you were going to take Dalvin Cook. The reason why I'm taking Henderson is I think he's going to rush for 140 yards. I think they're going to be up late with the Rams against the Giants, and we talked about it. Their running back, one of their running backs is hurt, so even if they're up, they got to play him. So I'm taking him. Okay, so wide receivers, I'm taking Mike Evans. I think Evans has a monster game this week. We know that Godwin is out. Goodwin is out for the Tampa Bay Bucks. So I'm taking Mike Evans.
I'm going to be taking Tyler Lockett.
Okay, from Seattle. And then I'm going to take Amari Cooper just because I'm doubling up with Dak Prescott. And you were going to take him?
Oh, God, I had him.
Okay, and who are you taking?
I guess I'm going to go with, you know what? I think I was going to go with Diggs, but I think I'm going to go with Keenan Allen.
That's a good pick, although I don't know why you would do that because, you know, I posted this earlier, Rico. Look at my original show before we went on YouTube. Who are the two quarterbacks there? Justin Herbert and Tom Brady. So I don't know why you would take Keenan Allen when Tampa has a great defense.
Oh, are you trying to talk me out of it? Because
I'm not trying to talk to you. You made the pick. It's solid gold.
It's solid.
Who's your tight end? Is it Andrews? Let me take a guess. Mark Andrews from the Baltimore Ravens.
Well, Kittle is back, and they have nobody to throw to.
Yeah, but how much is he going to play? How long are they going to use him?
You know, I'll take that gamble. I'll go with George Kittle.
Okay, since you're going to do that, I'm going to shock you here. I'm going to take Gesicki from the Miami Dolphins just because I think that Seattle can't stop anyone. And I think that Ryan Fitzpatrick, since Seattle doesn't have a pass rush, he's going to throw for over 300 yards. So I'm taking the Miami tight end. Rico, I shocked you with some picks today, didn't I?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty okay with a 3-1 next week. I'm not as worried as I usually am, which maybe I should be getting worried.
Listen, I did a lot of research on this. I went over the numbers. I don't know why in my notes I had Derrick Henry as my running back when the game has been postponed since like Wednesday. I don't know what prep I do that I had Derrick Henry there. So, you know, the master of prep. What are you doing?
I mean, talking about heartbreaking, I was like, wait a minute. Why? Like, Pittsburgh's getting punished. They have a bye in week 4 because this team has been irresponsible and somebody there has not been doing their part. And, you know, Coop, good pick. Cooper's a good pick. I had him on my list.
Rico, I will never say Coop as a nickname for Amari Cooper. Never say that. So I don't know what that is. All right, Rico. So you got 2 picks here, and you're on record as saying if it's a 7-point or below spread, you're taking the Chiefs, right? If they do play on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs.
But you're not going to start anyone on New England or Kansas City, right? Because the game might be postponed.
The game could possibly be postponed. I'm doing a thing I got a gig on a Disney show, and if you see the protocols that they go through, it's insane. I've literally had swabs up my nose every day which they also give a good stipend. They give you a good amount of money when you come in and get tested. But they have their system there, so I'm sure Disney's system is as tight as the NFL.
Okay, Rico, I'm going to stop you here because you just mentioned something that is so significant, but it's like an afterthought because you're talking about football. What Disney gig are you talking about?
I got a show.
Are you dressing up as Mickey Mouse?
No, I wish. You know what? You know the money that Mickey Mouse probably makes being on that out there. Mickey makes probably a ton of money. No, I got a show. I auditioned for a show before the pandemic, and they told me I got it, but then the pandemic happened like literally 4 days later. So I was like, oh, go figure. So now cut to 7 months later, they're opening back up again. All the sets are opening up. They've gotten a pretty solid protocol and health advisors on of what they're doing. And so they've called us all up. They let us know.
So is this a TV show? Is it a pilot?
Yeah,
what is it?
It's a pilot TV show, and I got a small little part, 2 lines in it. It's a small part, but I got it, and it's
why is this the first I'm hearing of this on the show?
Because I just got it like 4 days. I just found out. I found out on Tuesday, and then I had to rush in to go for. As soon as they sent me the thing, they were like, "Today at 2:00, COVID test. Today go." I've already done 3 COVID tests, and I have to do another one when I go in tomorrow because tomorrow's my call time. I have to go in tomorrow morning at 8:00, and I don't even shoot till 3:00. So they have the equipment on site to when they took my swab, the lady walked off and I saw her go to the trailer setup. You got to see the setup. I've never seen
amazing.
It.
Good. That's what you got to do. Listen, the NBA bubble works, right? It works because they constantly test.
You remember the movie Outbreak?
Yes.
That's what it looked like. They're full suits, like the whole bit. Like it's pretty solid what they got going.
Rico, you have so many things wrong with you that COVID is the least of your worries. You're immune to it.
I got Disney approved. Like you got to get background check, everything. I'm like, wow, I'm like a normal person now.
Wow, God, you know what? Your life has totally changed since you met Melissa. She is your strength.
Oh, yeah.
She is your encouragement. She is the reason why you are succeeding.
Yeah, totally.
Wow, I'm trying to build up your wife, and basically you're making fun of her. All right, Rico. So here it is. Rico's rant. We do it every week. There's Uncle Rico from the movie Napoleon Dynamite. It's 2 or 3 minutes of Rico just ranting. So the floor is yours.
Well, I mean, here we go. I was about to talk about that part of what I went through and how I was really, I was shocked. And I you know what? Now that I look at it, being shocked at what the money and the power behind Disney of what they're doing and how tight they're holding their ship. They've already told non-essential workers they're not coming back for a few months till next year, and to just be part of a team and to see it live. We hear about the NBA bubble. We hear about the NFL, which is so upsetting that they're putting it on each team, and these teams there's no, teams are being fined, coaches are being fined $100,000 to not wear a mask, but yet nobody's been fined in the Titans organization yet. And it's like, oh, how do you find somebody who got sick? No, we're living in a world where that's, I don't understand it. And to watch how it's done and done right, and then to see it failing, I'm mad. If my fantasy football teams that are 4-0, if something happens to this division, in this league, I'm going to lose it. Lose it. I am running the best. The tests are much easier now. Just swab. Yeah, I've had swabs up my nose. No, they go up the nose now. They've been going. I've had in the last 5 days, I've had 6 swabs up my nose. They hit both sides.
Plus, I think the better tests are the ones that go up your nose. That the tests that they're rolling out for the average American are not as complex as you would do with a multi-billion-dollar organization like Disney.
Yeah. Well, in the NFL, they're going up. They've been going up my nose, and I think
Chris Rock said on Saturday Night Live, because he hosted Saturday Night Live, he said, I haven't had this much stuff up my nose since I was in the back room with what I forget Chris Farley.
Yeah, no, he didn't. I didn't see that.
He said that live on Saturday Night
Live. Oh, may he rest in peace, Chris.
So, all right, Rico. So your basic end of the rant is just, you want them to be safer. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, my rant, as I was going on, I was thinking about this whole divide now of what's happening is where people are teaching their kids, like, I get it. The guy on top right now is just incompetent and unqualified for his job. But, like, I'm not really great with people hoping death on a sick person, no matter how terrible they are. And we're teaching a culture of teaching our kids that it's okay to hate somebody because they're incompetent and stupid, which is not really the best thing to be teaching people. Like, like I'm going to be teaching my kid, like, there's a lot of people who love this guy. So yet, like, when a parent is screaming, cursing, and yelling about, you and your brother couldn't be more on the opposite side. Now, who's your niece listening to? She understands now that you can really hate somebody and it's okay to hate somebody and talk about it out loud. Like, I feel like that's a culture that we're starting to teach our kids.
I'm gonna touch on this. I will just say this: it's not that people are. You shouldn't wish death on anyone. My dad.
There's a lot of people.
Oh yeah. I know. But my dad said, how can someone be chosen by God, like the radical right think Trump is, get sick with COVID-19? And I don't think it's because he's incompetent. It's just the cruelty that this man has displayed. He has no empathy. He has no sympathy. So I'm not wishing this man death, but I am not wishing him anything but what he deserves. And we'll just stay on it with me here, Rico, because instead of going to my 2-point conversion, my extra point, we'll just extend this to a 2-point conversion, because my extra point was going to be this. Okay, my extra point was going to be this. Donald Trump is in the safest environment known to man. He is in the most isolated environment known to man. But you have his sycophants. Like, look at this. The president of the United States is hospitalized with COVID. The NFL has postponed 2 marquee week 4 games because of COVID-19 tests. Jerry Jones is allowing 25,000 fans at the stadium. Now, the only time we've ever seen Donald Trump wear a mask was once or twice, and then walking into the hospital. He has downplayed the virus from day one. He made fun of Joe Biden for wearing a mask at the debate. Now, who do we have going out there? And this is going along to your point. It's not just about him being incompetent. It's about the lies. Jason Miller, a pro-Trump contributor, left CNN because he was having sex with strippers and porn stars while he was married. His wife is pregnant, and 2 women accused him of drugging them with the abortion pill because he got them pregnant. So not only is he having sex with strippers, and he admitted this too, I'm not outing him. Not only is he having sex with porn stars, he's having unprotected sex while his wife is home pregnant. Donald Trump is in the safest environment known to man. If he can't protect himself, how is he going to protect your children? If he can't protect himself, how is he going to protect our senior citizens? He can't.
Well, then again, that falls on. I would never, ever, 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 ever expect or put that on anybody to protect me and my family. I'm protecting me and my family. I'm the man.
But they're actively trying to let other people affect your family. They had a super spreader event in the Rose Garden where no one wore a mask. And why did they do this? Because they were trying to put an unqualified Supreme Court nominee through. So they all met at the Rose Garden celebrating their corruption, and they're all getting sick now. So I am not going to pray for these people to get better. I'm not going to pray for them to get worse. What I'm saying is it's not because we disagree with his policy. It's because he's locked kids up and children. He's blatantly mocked anyone who's sick. When Hillary Clinton got pneumonia last year, he called her weak and unfit.
Hold on, Rex Ryan. Let's switch it. I started a fire. Who is the governor of New Jersey again?
Chris Christie.
Chris Christie and Rex Ryan, for some reason, I feel like those 2 guys are like best friends and like we don't know about it, and they hang out behind this. Don't they look like they hang out with each other?
Yeah,
like
they do.
You've never seen them together. When I see them, like those 2 guys are probably would be the best of friends ever.
Listen, Chris Christie has the virus. He checked into the hospital. My brother, who had insurance, got tested. It took him 3 weeks to get the results. These guys are getting results in 15 minutes.
I'm getting text messages and emails of my results immediately, like right away. They're sending them like.
Well, Rico, you're part of the 1%.
I'm part of it. Now I feel like I'm part of the 1%.
All right, Rico, good luck on your picks. Good luck on your fantasy football. Thanks for your the Rico's rant, because it kind of led into mine. So we kind of killed two birds with one stone there. So I appreciate that.
All right. Love you guys. I'll see you Tuesday night, right?
Yeah, Tuesday. Well, it depends. If there's a game on Tuesday, we will not be on.
Okay. Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right.
So congratulations on your Disney, and we'll talk more about that next week.
All right, thanks. I'll see you all later.
Have a great one. That was Rico. Show me the Muzzy Graziano. I want to thank all of you for listening to the Full Monty Sports Show, watching the Full Monty Sports Show. I want to thank Daniel Goodwin III. I want to thank A. Marie. I want to thank George Lopez, Rico, Show Me the Money Graziano, and I want to thank you. And in the immortal words of Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back.